something that anybody can buy, right? Yes.
I know that not to do with the sounds of the guns, but in a normal situation, should I put those tables back down where they be?
Which ones?
Back three? You want them put back down?
No, they're okay. They're okay. That kind of gave us a nice alleyway there for our shootout to happen there. So, no, it's great. It's great. So, okay. So, gunfire, very pronounced, right? We didn't throw the alarms this time, but it was stressful enough. Did you see the stress level on those officers when they came in here? They didn't know who was good, who was bad, but they did know that they had a shooter immediately that was engaging them on their left, right? They were kind of doing a sneak and peek kind of technique there, but you're okay. Yeah, you're okay. Bypass. Nope, those are all good guys. Yeah. Cafeteria is off limits now. So they're continuing to work their skill sets on clearing and how to communicate with each other and move through the building. So I'm going to let them do that for about another 60 seconds here. So what questions do you guys have about what just happened? Anything in particular? Yes.
Did you let the bad guys come in and then wait a little bit to simulate?
Yes.
Because they're not going to be here within a minute.
That's correct.
It's going to take 4 or 5.
That's a good point, right? There's going to be, folks, if a guy or guys come in here with the intent to do harm, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
We've talked about this a lot, and they become the first responders.
There's going to be carnage. There's going to be blood. There's going to be gunshot wounds. Your best friend and teacher that you've known for years are going to be laying down. That's the fact of the matter. What's your response time to get here?
Scenario over.
2, we're going to let them continue for about 30 more seconds on clearing, and we're getting ready to call the scenario over.
First 2 teams in. I'm going to go code green on staff.
As far as response time, we're never going to know. I mean, but on average, if we didn't have people in the schools now that can respond fairly quickly from one school to the other, anywhere in the county, from Brazil to Shakamak State Park is 24 minutes, and that's running hard. So obviously it's not going to be that long because most of the time there's 2 of us on, we're going to split the county up, we've got 1 horse. So 10 minutes at most, because I'll tell you, those cars go fast, and they're going to go fast.
10 minutes is a long time.
Yeah,
It's a long time.
Yes.
I can only imagine when I gave the call that there was an active shooter in this building, when those guys were in their cars coming over here, what was going through their mind, right?
Were they in a car?
Oh yeah, they drove here.
Someplace else?
Yeah, they drove here.
Yeah, I just thought maybe they were outside the door. I'm like, that's too fast.
No, they drove here.
Okay.
Okay. So we don't have them out patrolling around, where they're not miles away from us. They're close. They're just down the road. But we wanted them to think about a lot of things: getting here safely, positioning their cars, getting their equipment donned, and making an initial plan to make entry into the building. There's a lot of things going on in these officers' minds as they're rolling up, right? We don't know where the bad guy is. We told them that the last we knew through dispatch, because we've got cameras, that the bad guy was walking towards the cafeteria. That's all they know. And a lot of these guys that aren't SROs, they don't know this school. And you know where the first ones made entry at? Far east side. They came clear through the building before they made contact with the bad guy. So, and that's the kind of thing that's real,
I didn't know
right?
you were practicing.
That's real.
The
So,
door
yes.
closed ours and the door was locked.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to make sure.
Now, don't you guys have the same cameras that we have?
Yep, we're tied into your guys'
That's what I thought, so you can
Yeah.
tell right away.
And that's a benefit, right? That the dispatch is right there up on big screen. And if something was to happen here at Jackson School, all the other schools are off the map, they're bringing up nothing but Jackson, and they're zooming in and looking and searching to see what hallways people are at, all of those things. So it's certainly a benefit to have that kind of technology, and it's only going to get better, right? Any more questions?
A real scenario, if we'd been in the cafeteria, if we flee through the back door here
Yes.
and we encounter a shooter there. So then, do you continue to charge through that? Do you, I mean,
Good question.
I'm just thinking, if we're going out the.
Good question. Well, I guess there's a lot of different things to that scenario. Can that happen where people are being ambushed? Absolutely. If you look at Columbine, that was the initial intent for Columbine. They were to set explosions off within the school, and they were going to be outside waiting for people to run out and then shoot them as they came out. That happens, right? One of the issues that you're going to find out as you transition to other parts of the building and you start practicing your evasion techniques, you may end up getting a real queasy feeling as you leave the safety of this building and you start running across an open field. You're going to go, wow, that was a lot longer distance. That was a lot longer distance from the school to the firehouse than what I had thought, right? So that's what we want. That's what we want you to feel. That's the discussion that we want to have after the fact of as you're practicing not only in here and seeing what's happening live, but when you're practicing locking down in your rooms. But then when you practice the opportunity to escape and evade, is that something that you want to do? And if so, this is what you got. And you take a good look around at what you got around you.
And Lynn, even further on that, we did adopt the ALICE program.
Okay.
That was adopted last month, or last board meeting. All the administrators will be going through a 2-day training this summer, then we'll bring that to the buildings. And these are things we'll be talking about. We'll be working with the Sheriff's Department as well. We've already talked to Paul. And so these are, what you do on to answer your question, you play the odds and use common sense. I know the bad guy's in here. I don't know there's one out there. If I know one's in here, I'm going to take the chance there's not one out there.
And I would too, and I'm thinking, but you get out there and you encounter somebody, my gut feeling would be you'd still go because you just flee, everybody
Yeah.
in different directions,
Don't,
But
whatever you
it would
do,
be so
don't-
intimidating, I mean, you
Don't
could just
stop.
walk out
Yeah.
the door and you would.
Whatever you do, whatever decision you make, don't stop. Keep running. It's hard for bad guys. Bad guys don't practice shooting at moving targets. So bob, weave, zig, zag. Make it as difficult as you can as you transition to a place of hard cover. Okay?
One more
So,
question.
yes.
If one police officer gets here, that police officer's coming in, not
That's
waiting for
correct.
anybody else, right?
Yep. That's exactly it. If we know people are being shot in here, we're not waiting around. That officer's coming in.
Jason, when did that change? Because it used to be 3, correct?
Well,
Initially?
initially when this training started, it's really evolved quite a bit.
Yes.
Basically, when you start looking at Columbine, officers basically arrived on scene and were basically waiting for SWAT, specialized people to come in and do that job. Regular patrol officers weren't versed in these types of tactics. So there had to be some adaptation and some new skills that needed to be learned. So it went from having a 6 or 8 man stack up before you made entry to now we're down to 3, 2, and 1 man rescue, an emergency entry. So, or what we call a crisis entry. So if we know that this is not stagnant, that this is live, that this is people are being shot, we are not going to wait around. We don't have the luxury of doing that. The longer we wait, the more people are going to die, and we just can't do that. We're going to rely on our training, our tactics, and our mental mindset to come in here, eliminate that threat, and get this thing resolved as quickly as we possibly can. So that's another reason why we're here training today. So that was good. That was good. Okay. Anything that you saw? Did you see this mask? Bring your mask over here unless you've already cleaned it off. There was a short shootout right here. You guys got to see some of that, and boom, he took a round right to the gourd.
Did it sting?
That
Decided.
them, as they arrive, what's the bad guy's mental mindset? Well, I'm gonna kill as many people as I can while I have the opportunity to do so, because he knows his time's limited, right? So he challenged them, then he disappeared. And when he came back in here, he said, I'm going back in there and I'm gonna kill all of them. And then you hear the officers, they're running, trying to get down here. And then there was the standoff right here, a short standoff, and they ended up taking him out with a headshot, so it was some good shooting, okay?
So are they restaging this whole thing and they're going back out in the
Yes,
park?
so now different
Because